I spent a month making one 8-second animation in Blender 3D. Here's how it went. Hello everyone, James here. This animation is a submission to the Rokoko Love It First Move challenge, and I have over a month to complete it. There were specific guidelines to this project that I had to follow. It had to be 8 seconds, 24 FPS, a certain aspect ratio, you had to use Rokoko video, which I'll talk about soon, and the theme was a character that would be on a dating app. For whatever reason, my vision for this was a samurai in a mountain garden with a city in the background. I couldn't tell you why. So the first step was finding models. I knew I wanted to have an outdoor theme, so I found a bunch of plant assets on Quixel.com and used them carefully. Now do not make the same mistake as me, but I downloaded the 8K versions thinking somehow this would be a smooth viewing experience, but it was not. My computer barely survived. Speaking of my computer, well guys, the PC is holding up well. There's a little bit of dust in here. There's a lot of dust in there, but I will clean it out soon. This summer, I'm planning to upgrade from a 3070 Ti right here to a 4080 or 4090, depends on the prices. But this February, I am upgrading the CPU from a Ryzen 5 5600X to probably a Ryzen 9 5900X. So, you know, still sticking with the AM4 motherboard, but yeah, we'll see. Now back to the video. Anyways, after re-downloading everything as HD textures, I began to plop it all into my scene and start working. I also got a samurai model and a space station for the background, and the city in the background was made by Master Chief Tutorials. Huge thanks to him for that. After laying out the environment, I began work on the animation of the character. Now the premise of the challenge is that it requires even those who own a motion capture suit to use Rokoko video to animate their character. Now I've had run-ins with this kind of stuff in the past, deep motion, and the results weren't, well, they weren't great. However, I have to say that after using this free video capture, it's significantly better than the other times I've used this technology. Now I may attempt to use this in my future projects, we'll see, but in this specific instance, it worked pretty good. Oh, and this is with minimal cleanup of the movement, but I'm still very inexperienced with that, but hopefully I can get better as I keep gaining experience. After getting the animation attached to the character, I attached the included textures and finalized the animation, which included slowing it down because all of the movement of the video looked odd and I was having some issues with exporting the required FPS. The next step was finalizing the environment. I went through a lot of moving stuff around, but I had the general layout done when I began work on the backdrop. You're probably assuming that this is an image plane, but it is not. I made a whole landscape for the background to render in the same scene. I could have made it an image plane, but I didn't. I really need to work on optimizing my projects. Anyways, the trees were made using Blender's built-in add-on for making tree trunks or whatever to generate them, and the result was fine. I then used a hair particle system, made the hair branches, and distributed it with weight painting. Now this next step was something I had wanted for a long time. You see, as a great legend of VFX once said,
"Moths add realism to anything."
I'm trying to make this realistic, I might as well slap some moths in there. Easier said than done. How does one achieve such an effect?
The Blender particle system is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Boids. Boids are the key. A Boid particle system is literally made for moths, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Once I did some physics and aerospace engineering to master the movement, I modeled the highest detailed moth ever created. Here it is. Okay, to be fair, the moths will not be big or very visible, so this is detailed enough. Now enjoy the new meme of the day. Why, yes, I take my career seriously. Why would you doubt that?
The answer would be no.
But yeah, so I gave the moth a simple animation and then plopped him into the particle system. I also textured it using a brown diffuse with some translucency. Since moths are translucent, that means you can see through them kind of. I did the same thing with the plants. After that, it was more fine-tuning and detailing, and the fire was a free loop from productioncrate.com, which I plugged into the color, emission, and alpha. I then rendered it out, imported it into After Effects. Why? Because I need to give it some color. I also got rid of the denoising artifacts by adding in some turbulent displacement. And then for the last step, I added balls. Nah, I'm kidding, this is the final render. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, but I doubt I'll win anything, simply because it's not very good in my opinion. I really wish I had made it more of a tame garden than an overgrown one. Maybe some beds for the plants or something. I just wish it had been a little more organized. Another thing is that I wish I had been able to refine the animation more. I'd had some issues with the FPS and didn't understand that FPS was going to affect the speed of my render, so I shot the animation footage in 60 FPS rather than the required 24 for the project. Some things I am proud of though are the lighting. I think the sunset looks nice, and even though I forgot clouds completely, the fog with the sunset shining through the leaves on the plants looks very nice in my opinion. So yeah, that's a more in-depth dive on my submission to the Rokoko Love at First Move Challenge, so stay tuned, I'll see you in the next one, and if I do by some miracle win anything, I will let you all know right away, because a Rokoko motion capture suit is like my dreams. I dream of that at night. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one.